what's going on, guys? Crafting here, back again for another Apex Legends video, and today I am bringing you 10 tips you need to know for Apex Legends Season 14 Hunted. So the season has been out for about 2.5-3 weeks now at the point of me recording this. At the time that you will see this, it'll probably have been about 3 weeks since the season has been out. And with that, I am bringing you my 10 tips that you should know for Apex Legends Season 14. Now, some of you probably already know some of these, but a couple of these might actually surprise you. And before we get started into this video, I do want to let you know I did miss the first week of the season due to being out of town, which is why this video is coming out about a week or so later than I would have liked. But better late than never, they say. So with that being said, guys, let's jump right in. So, tip number 1. Take advantage of Vantage. Yes, I know, very terrible pun, but still. Vantage being the new legend this season is absolutely insane. Her abilities are really good, especially her ultimate. Her sniper gives you 5 shots, and you can, kinda like Sheila, pull it out even if the ult's not fully charged. I know that if Sheila's ready, you have to wait for the ult to be fully ready and then use it, but as it diminishes, you can still pull it back out, even if it's not fully recharged. With Vantage, it doesn't matter if it's fully ready or not. The second you hit 20% on your ultimate charge and you earn that first shot of your ultimate, you can instantly pull it out and use it. Or you can wait for the full 5 to charge. It's honestly really powerful. Her sniper can 2-shot to the body someone with purple armor, so very strong. And her echo relocation, very useful. It's basically a tactical octane pad. Just be careful not to get fried out of the air with it with someone who has good aim. Her ultimate can also get recharged 2 shots at a time per ultimate accelerant, so definitely not a bad idea to keep an ult acceler 2 on you to pop quickly to get a couple shots back, because like I said, 2 shots is all you need to down someone in purple armor. So yeah, with that being said, guys, that's tip number 1. Take advantage of Vantage. You will not regret it. She's a really good legend and a recon legend, so she can scan beacons, and I'll dive into why that's important a little bit later. Tip number 2, Mad Maggie is gonna be meta, or is meta I should say. Her pick rate has skyrocketed since her buff this season, and she is now a full-on 100% counter to Gibraltar. With her Riot Drill being able to penetrate bubbles, we've known that since Season 12. Her Wrecking Ball, however, can now destroy the Gibby bubble, making her just full-on a Gibby counter. And then, of course, her passive for shotguns means that it doesn't matter what you use Maggie for. Her passive with the shotgun buff means you can bubble fight a Gibraltar. Your Riot Drill means you can shoot that right into the bubble and cause some havoc in there. Or you can just throw your ult and straight up destroy the bubble while using the speed pads to push right in. So all in all, Gibby is gonna have a big target on his back now that Maggie can fully counter him in every single way. And with that said, we're going to move on to tip number 3. Newcastle is your new best defense/support legend. Now, with the fall of Gibby in tip number 2 because of Maggie, Newcastle has actually arisen to be better. With the buffs he got for his res speed and rotation and the bug for sliding down the hill super fast, all in all, Newcastle's just going to be your new go-to for a support legend. Gibby's not completely down for the count, but I will say that for Season 14, I would much rather see a Newcastle on my team than a Gibby. However, both are welcome. Now, that is about all we have for the Legends portion of this video, but definitely consider using Newcastle and give Maggie a try. So we're going to move right on to the next part of the video with tips 4, 5, and 6 being weapon related. So tip number 4, the Volt is a must pick. With the Volt SMG coming back to the ground, you're gonna want to use it. Even though SMGs received a hipfire nerf to make way for the new laser sight attachment, the Volt is still one of the best. While not as fast firing as the car, which still, if you have the aim for it, is on top of all SMGs, the Volt is definitely coming in at a close second. The Volt SMG has that slower fire rate, and that it's easier for the new players to control recoil wise, and it does pretty well at range even without the barrel stabilizer. So now that it's back, definitely run it in your loadout. Volt R3 and or Volt and Flatline make really good combos, and I have been seeing them a lot lately. Don't sleep on the Volt, even though it's gone back down to 26 shots when it had 28 in the care package. It's not that big a deal. The nerf is basically unnoticeable. It's back to its normal state it was before it went into the package, and still absolutely slaps, even with the laser sight attachments on it now instead of a barrel stave. It's must pick SMG unless you can really hit your shots with the car. So moving right along, tip number 5, this might surprise a lot of people. The RE45 is the best hipfire gun. Now I know what you're thinking, Creative, you're crazy. The RE45? Really? You mean that awful garbage pistol that no one likes using unless they absolutely have to? Yeah, that gun. Yeah, the RE45. It's actually better than the R9 this season, and I kid you not. With it being in the crafter and getting RE and having the RE come with hammer points while in the crafter and the laser sight edition, it's better on hipfire. It's better on hipfire. The hammer points gives it that extra damage edge to the unshielded opponents, which just barely gives it a little more damage to outclass the R9. And then the hipfire, because keep in mind, SMGs received the hipfire nerf. The RE45 is a pistol. It's a machine pistol, so it did not receive a hipfire nerf. And it actually got buffed with the higher strafe and ADS speeds. So yeah, in all ways, even a little bit ADSing, but mostly hipfire, the RE45 is actually best. So give it a try this season. I promise it won't disappoint. I've been running it a lot lately, even in ranked. And let me tell you, it is a good pick. Do not sleep on the RE45. Now moving on to tip number 6, our final gun. The EVA 8 can rival the PK, and in some cases, be better than it. It all comes down to your playstyle, but the EVA 8 with its buffs it received and its double tap coming back, it is really close to contending with the Peacekeeper, and in some cases is better. It just comes down to your playstyle. If you know how to use the PK and you're popping for 99 every shot, PK is gonna carry you all the way and be better. But if you're a little lower skill and you can't hit your PK shots, the EVA 8 is a great shotgun to fall back on. With it now taking stocks for better and faster reloads, and the addition of its double tap trigger coming back to the ground pool, it's just a force to be reckoned with. It's not as cracked as it was in Season 3, but let me tell you, EVA 8 is definitely back in the meta, baby. And it is hitting hard. With a full 2 body shot double tap burst, you'll do 112 damage. It's really good. So if one PK body shot's 99 and the EVA's double tap shots being 112, you best be careful if you get into a fight against those two guns, because if you know how to use either of them, they're pretty much equal, just depending on your play style. So very good to see. Very good to see. PK now doesn't have to be your only choice at a shotgun. That EVA 8 is absolutely slapping again. So moving on to tip number 7, loot fast. With the new season starting, they made some changes to the zone, so round 1 now closes faster and does more damage. It does the same amount of damage as round 2, which means on larger maps, especially like Storm Point, wherever you land, loot up quick, get your loadout, and start rotating. Don't spend those extra couple minutes looting that you normally would in previous seasons, because with zone coming in quicker and harder, you're not going to have a good time. I've already died to zone several times because of this, and it's not been that fun. So definitely loot fast. So that'll lead us right into tip number 8 of ring awareness. As I already mentioned, the zone ticks harder and moves in faster in the earlier rounds, so be careful and be aware of it. This is why a recon legend, just like Vantage I mentioned before, Vantage is recon, and we would talk about it later. Well, it's later. All recons are very important now. Land on a beacon, get that scan, and know where you have to rotate to ahead of time, because boy, when that zone closes in, you don't want to have to burn all your health meds in rounds 1 and 2 when rotating, especially on Storm Point, which will be ranked split number 2. So while it's not as bad on Kings Canyon right now, when it hits Storm Point, you're going to want that ring awareness. So definitely don't forget to pick yourself up a recon legend and practice rotating early, as well as following tip 7, which was loot fast. With those 2 tips in mind, you'll have a great time, and you'll probably outplay a lot of people and beat them to ring, and then you'll have some easy beams while they're still running out in the storm. So, on to tip number 9, learn the new map rotations. With the Kings Canyon being reloaded this season in the addition of Relic, aka Skulltown, we also saw a huge change to lots of rotation points in the center of the map. So the cave that would hook into Market and stuff, it's been filled and pushed back. Let's see, the no-name POI, the rotation spot that would be like literally straight across from where salvage was. That would take you from salvage straight through on the other side of that res beacon. I'll probably try and throw a picture on screen right now. But that area, there used to be, as you can see the picture it's filled now, but there used to be, and I have it highlighted in a little circle, there used to be a rotation point right there that would let you cut straight through. That has since been patched, so now you'll have to go all the way around or cut through the market cave. And lastly, in the center of the map, one of the rotation points near cage and near bridges, where bridges used to be, that third rotation point, there used to be a beacon in the middle of it, that has also been filled and replaced by a bridge, making you have to walk around. So definitely be careful when rotating out of cage toward bunker, because you can still take the path over the hillside, but if you try to go the bridge's way, that little rotation inlet is no longer there. You'll have to take a bridge and go around and follow the river. So just be aware of that. Learn those new rotations, especially if you're considering grinding split 1 of ranked. And last but certainly not least, with tip number 10, we have the communist materials, as I like to call it, and that is the shared materials for crafting. With the replicator getting a change this season where anyone on your team can collect the materials, and just like arenas, it'll collect it for all your teammates. This will make crafting a lot easier and faster, especially with the faster zones coming in. So now, when you really need to craft, you can have each of your teammates go to a separate materials container, all grab them, and then all meet up with the replicator, making crafting quicker and easier. That way you can get out before those early zones hit. But with all that being said, guys, those are my 10 tips for Season 14. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description down below for you to check out. And if you want to join the Nerd Herd Discord or the Crimson Cult, both of those are also linked down below as well. But anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone!